In the remote, frozen heights of the Himalayas, the legendary Yeti begins another day in his ancient domain. The Yeti surveys his territory with quiet confidence, master of the unforgiving mountains. At ease in the high altitudes, the Yeti moves with powerful grace through his snowy homeland.
The mighty Yeti stands tall, perfectly adapted to the harsh beauty of the Himalayas.
As temperatures hover at -5 degrees Celsius, the Yeti senses the subtle rhythms of his frozen world. The Yeti interacts with his environment, undisturbed in the serene cold. In moments of rest, the Yeti embodies the timeless spirit of the mountains.
The legendary Yeti, guardian of the peaks, enjoys the rare calm before nature's fury. Unhurried and strong, the Yeti begins to notice a faint shift in the distant sky. The Yeti continues his journey, unaware that change is gathering on the horizon. A subtle breeze touches the Yeti, carrying the first whisper of approaching weather.
From his vantage point, the Yeti sees the first signs of clouds building far away.
The Yeti remains steadfast as the Himalayan sky begins to change. In -5 degree cold, the Yeti presses on, his thick fur providing perfect insulation.
The Yeti exhales clouds of frost, feeling the temperature dip slightly lower.
Instinct alerts the Yeti to the darkening horizon beyond the peaks. Moisture in the air begins to freeze on the Yeti, signaling incoming weather. The Yeti stands firm as the first shadows of a storm creep across the mountains. Ancient wisdom guides the Yeti as he registers the coming change in his domain.
Delicate snowflakes drift down, brushing against the Yeti's thick white fur. The Yeti feels the gentle touch of new snow in the cooling air.
Light snow begins to dance in the wind, surrounding the solitary Yeti. Curious yet cautious, the Yeti examines the first signs of the gathering storm. Stronger gusts test the Yeti, pushing against his massive frame.
Behind the Yeti, new snow begins to erase his tracks in the changing weather.
The Yeti narrows his gaze against the growing flurry at -5 degrees.
Frost builds quickly on the Yeti as humidity and cold intensify.
The Yeti presses on, undaunted by the approaching wall of clouds.
Protecting his face, the Yeti braces against the strengthening cold breeze.
With food naturally scarce, the Yeti searches for anything edible in the snow. The Yeti sustains himself with meager finds, knowing winter offers little. Hunger always present, the Yeti forages persistently in his harsh environment. The Yeti eats sparingly, conserving energy as the weather shifts. In this frozen world, the Yeti often goes days with barely enough food. Strengthened slightly, the Yeti faces the worsening conditions ahead. The Yeti listens carefully to the growing howl of approaching winds. The storm front looms larger, threatening the Yeti's peaceful solitude. Defiant yet respectful,
Yeti acknowledges nature's incoming power. Fresh powder begins to coat the Yeti heavily in the dropping temperatures. The Yeti appears even more legendary against the brooding Himalayan sky.
Seeking vantage or shelter, the Yeti ascends despite the worsening weather.
The Yeti's powerful strides carve a path through the freshly falling snow. On the brink of the blizzard, the Yeti stands ready for what comes next. The Yeti fights hypothermia by moving constantly in the deadly -10-degree winds. Bits deeper at -5 degrees, but the Yeti remains resolute. The Yeti braces himself as the first true waves of the blizzard approach. Solitude defines the Yeti as nature prepares to test his survival.
Unaware of how fierce the storm will become, the Yeti faces the unknown with ancient strength. The full fury of the blizzard strikes, trapping the Yeti in -10°C winds that threaten to overwhelm even his immense strength.
Ice forms rapidly on the Yeti as the brutal cold at -10 bites deeper than ever before.
The Yeti fights every step in the raging storm, his powerful body tested by endless walls of snow.
Blinded by the whiteout, the Yeti relies on instinct to navigate the deadly Himalayan blizzard. Engulfed by the storm at -10°, the Yeti battles isolation and nature's raw power. Exhaustion creeps in as the Yeti expends precious energy just to stay upright in the cold.
Treacherous terrain hidden by the blizzard nearly brings the Yeti down in -10-degree weather. The Yeti refuses to yield, channeling ancient strength against the unrelenting storm.
Driven by growing hunger, the Yeti seeks the frozen river for any chance of food.
The Yeti breaks the ice desperately, hoping to hunt fish beneath the frozen surface.
Numbing cold assaults the Yeti as he reaches into the freezing stream for survival.
A meager catch rewards the Yeti, one small fish in the midst of starvation. The Yeti eats barely enough to quiet his growling stomach, sustenance scarce in the blizzard. The storm works against the Yeti, quickly covering his fishing spot in fresh powder. Multiple attempts yield nothing, deepening the Yeti's hunger in -10-degree cold.
Frustration mounts as the Yeti fails to secure more food in the raging blizzard.
Weakened by cold and hunger, the Yeti must conserve what little energy remains.
Lost in the whiteout at -10°, the Yeti presses forward on pure survival instinct.
Layer upon layer of ice coats the Yeti, adding dangerous weight in the freezing storm. The Yeti fights hypothermia by moving constantly in the deadly -10-degree winds. Exhaustion threatens to claim the Yeti, but his will to survive drives him onward. Relentless gusts batter the Yeti from all sides in the heart of the blizzard.
Hunger forces the Yeti back to the water for one more desperate hunt.
A brief victory, the Yeti catches just enough to stave off total weakness.
The Yeti rations his tiny meal, knowing it may be the last for days. Starvation gnaws at the Yeti as the blizzard shows no signs of weakening. Every step costs the Yeti dearly in energy and warmth during -10-degree nightfall.
Even the Yeti's thick fur struggles against prolonged exposure to -10 degrees.
Disoriented and starving, the Yeti searches desperately through the white void. A momentary pause allows the Yeti to gather strength amid relentless cold. Alternative food sources elude the Yeti, leaving fish as his only hope.
Repeated failures deepen the Yeti's desperation in the freezing darkness. Primal rage surges through the Yeti as hunger and cold test his limits.
Hours blur into survival for the Yeti, trapped in -10-degree hell.
Legendary resilience keeps the Yeti fighting when others would fall.
The Yeti instinctively conserves body heat in the deepening night cold. One more meager fish sustains the Yeti, just enough to continue. Barely eating keeps starvation at bay for the exhausted Yeti. With minimal food secured, the Yeti seeks protection from the unending blizzard. Weakness from hunger makes every movement risky for the Yeti. The extreme cold takes its toll on even the hardy Yeti. Hope flickers faintly as the Yeti strains to hear signs of calming weather. Hope flickers faintly as the Yeti strains to hear signs of calming weather. Leg muscles burn with effort as the Yeti forces progress in the snow. The Yeti endures, drawing on ancient survival instincts. Exhausted and starving, the Yeti approaches a drift that could become his lifeline.
A spark of instinct guides the Yeti toward possible refuge in the blizzard.
Survival demands action. The Yeti starts carving shelter from the storm. Barely fed and frozen, the Yeti fights on, turning snow itself into his only hope.
Near collapse from hunger and cold, the Yeti begins carving a snow cave, his only chance for survival in -10 degrees.
With primal focus, the Yeti shapes the insulating snow into a protective shelter.
Inside the forming cave, the Yeti works tirelessly, despite his weakened state.
The Yeti builds his refuge step by step, turning the deadly snow into a lifesaver.
Finally finished, the Yeti's snow cave stands ready against the relentless blizzard.
The Yeti squeezes into his hand-dug shelter, escaping the brutal -10-degree winds. Protected at last, the Yeti finds relative warmth in the insulating snow cave. The Yeti seals himself in, blocking the freezing gusts that raged outside.
Curled for maximum heat retention, the Yeti prepares to endure the long night. With barely any food left, the Yeti consumes his last scraps to sustain through the cold. The meager meal provides just enough for the starving Yeti to rest. In -10 degrees outside, the snow cave traps the Yeti's body heat for survival. The blizzard's roar fades to a distant hum as the Yeti finally rests. Hidden from the elements, the Yeti's snow cave becomes his fortress against the night.
The Yeti's warm breath creates intricate ice crystals in his sheltered space.
Even in exhaustion, The Yeti conserves every bit of energy in the freezing darkness.
Deep sleep, claims the Yeti, essential recovery in his battle against hunger and cold.
The storm buries the Yeti's shelter deeper, unknowingly adding extra insulation. Protected from wind, the Yeti thaws slightly inside his snow cave haven.
Night drags on at -10 degrees, but the Yeti endures in quiet solitude. Instinct keeps the Yeti alert even in sleep, guardian of his fragile survival.
The snow cave perfectly fits the Yeti's needs. Simple, effective, life-saving.
Hunger lingers, but the rested Yeti draws strength from bare survival. As hours pass, the blizzard begins to weaken around the hidden Yeti. The Yeti senses the storm's fury easing during the endless Himalayan night. Legendary and vulnerable, the Yeti relies on the snow for protection at -10 degrees.
The Yeti's natural warmth turns the cave into a survivable cocoon.
Free from constant wind, the Yeti recovers from the day's brutal toll. Hints of morning creep in, offering hope to the enduring Yeti. In the quiet of his snow cave, the Yeti embodies raw survival instinct. The blizzard relents at last, unaware of the Yeti it failed to defeat. Restored somewhat, the Yeti awakens to a slight